Jon Ossoff just did what every taxpayer wishes someone would do. He looked a cabinet secretary in the eye and asked a simple question. If you're cutting billions from veterans' medical services, who's getting fired? What followed was silence, stammering, and a total collapse of accountability.
Senator Ossoff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again, Mr. Secretary. So just to start with the basics here, Mr. Secretary, the total all-in request for FY26 is $441.2 billion, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
And how much of your medical services request is for personnel? And how many personnel through this medical services request do you intend to employ in FY26?
At the current, and I also have, I have my budget, Andrew, here as well, if there's the numbers that we need, if Mr. Chairman, with yours. The issue that you brought up is right now there are currently 465,000 employees in VA as a whole. VHA has 409,000 of those.
I'm so sorry, Mr. The question is, how many staff do you intend to employ through the medical services budget in FY26?
Do we, Andrew?
396,000?
396,000.
396,000.
Yes.
Okay. The FY25 request, and just to be clear, that's intended staffing of medical services in FY26. Say the number again.
395?
396,000.
396,000.
396,000. Okay.
Yes.
How many physicians do you intend to employ in FY26?
Physicians.
Oh, physicians, we employ a large number of physicians.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Andrew is our budget. Right now, we currently have 28,868 physicians.
Yeah, so how many physicians do you intend to employ in FY26?
We're not cutting physicians, so at this point in time, under that budget, we're still looking
So,
to continue at 28,868 at minimum, because we're also having to add physicians which are not, which are exempt. So we're adding
here's
those
what we
as we
usually,
can. And because,
this is, for example, the budget request from 25, and it specifies that for 25, we're requested 25,099 physicians. So we usually get this in advance of this hearing. So my question is just how many doctors you intend to employ?
yeah, and at this point in time, I'll take that and get it back to you. As I told you yesterday on the phone, there'll be some more information coming later this week.
Okay, how about dentists?
Same answer.
Do you have the number for nurses?
We currently employ 91,040. I'll have the.
But my question is how many to
And I understand, and the breakdown will be provided as I said yesterday.
Okay, well, how have you calculated the money you need for personnel without having yet decided how many personnel to employ?
In the breakdown of the budget, which right now is still going on, these are the numbers that we are using to go forward from last year's budget into this year's budget. And at this point, there is also a gap in how many we have currently hired and not hired. And so at this point, I'll have the numbers for you that we've not provided yet. We'll be providing those numbers.
But you've proposed about $17 or $18 billion cut to the medical services account, correct?
That is not, the president's budget makes adjustments to the funding that devote additional funding appropriate funding to community care. This is not a cut to total to funding to VHA. In fact, the total medical care budget grew by 17% to $24 billion.
Not medical care, medical services. So here's your,
Okay.
just to be clear, I mean, the chairman mentioned this, we usually get
I understand completely.
specifies how many folks you intend to employ. We have a 26-page PowerPoint, but in that 26-page PowerPoint, here are specified about $17 billion in cuts to the medical services budget. So what are you cutting in medical services? Specifically, who are you cutting, since that's exclusively personnel?
Again, and this is the issue that we have right now, and I'll just state this for either of us to go back in circles. We'll be providing more of those numbers, as I said yesterday on our phone call this week. So at this point in time, the numbers that we're providing are the numbers that we have at this point. I'll be happy to talk to you further about those later.
And understand that's why we usually get these in advance of this hearing. I mean, I'm wondering if we need to reconvene having received the full budget request. Because the thing that is causing a lot of consternation is this proposed $17–18 billion cut to medical services. I mean, and so today is the budget hearing where you justify the budget request. So how do you justify this cut to medical services, and who are you going to fire in order to pay for it?
And I'll go back to the same answer I gave you just a few minutes ago. I mean, in this process, we'll have the more information on that part of it as we go forward. The basis of the budget was based on our workforce as it existed and moving forward, and the numbers have not been cut to the medical
I'm sorry, yes,
the
it
care
has.
budget.
You have in your PowerPoint here $17–18 billion in cuts to medical services. Again, this is a 26-page PowerPoint to justify the budget. So, and this is the budget hearing. So who's getting fired? I don't know, Mr. Chairman, if we need to reconvene after they send us the materials, but I think this is insufficient. Clearly, and I'll follow up in my next round. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Jon Ossoff didn't raise his voice. He didn't grandstand. He just asked straight, logical questions, and the VA secretary couldn't answer a single one. Ossoff starts with the basics. How many staff does the VA plan to employ next year? How many doctors? How many nurses? How many dentists? Simple stuff. Numbers any responsible budget should have on hand. But what happens next? The secretary stumbles, defers to a staffer, then circles back with a non-answer. He can't even confirm how many physicians or nurses will be on payroll. And here's where Ossoff lands the hammer. If you're cutting $17–18 billion for medical services, which is overwhelmingly personnel, who are you firing? That's when the stonewalling begins. The secretary insists it's not a cut, just a reallocation. But Ossoff has the receipts, a 26-page PowerPoint that explicitly shows those cuts. And when pressed again, who's getting fired, the secretary has nothing. This is where Ossoff shines. He exposes how bureaucratic spin tries to hide real-world consequences. You can't reallocate $18 billion in personnel funds without cutting people. You can't shrink a medical services budget without shrinking medical services. And that's the larger story here. Behind the fancy PowerPoints and talking points, this is what budget efficiency often means. Fewer doctors, fewer nurses, longer wait times, and veterans caught in the middle. Ossoff's frustration is what millions of Americans feel when they hear Washington talk about adjustments and realignments. Because behind every euphemism, there's a real person losing a job or a veteran losing care. And that question, who's getting fired, cuts through every layer of spin. It's the question every official should be forced to answer before Congress signs off another dime. Ossoff didn't need to shout. He just made silence speak louder than any soundbite. If you're tired of politicians dodging accountability, hit that like button and subscribe to Left Lens. Because here, we don't just replay the hearings, we expose what's really happening behind the microphones.